Before Alibaba, Jack Ma was rejected by over 30 jobs, including KFC. Even police didn't take him. His college entrance exam failed twice, but somehow he kept going. While most would have given up, Jack found purpose teaching English. This wasn't success yet, but it built his voice, his vision, and strangely, his future empire. The world didn't believe in Jack Ma until he made it impossible not to. In 1995, Jack Ma visited the US for the first time. There he discovered something strange. When he searched beer online, no Chinese brands appeared. That tiny moment, seemingly trivial, lit a fire. He didn't know how to code, didn't have money. But he saw a gap. And gaps are where visionaries strike. Jack returned to China with a dream bigger than anything he'd ever imagined, to bring China online. Back in Hangzhou, Jack Ma gathered 17 friends into his small apartment. With no tech background, they listened to a former English teacher pitch the internet's potential in China. That day, Alibaba was born, not in a tower, but in a cramped living room. They had no money, no business model, just faith. Faith that China needed this. And faith in Jack. The first Alibaba site was ugly. Clunky design, basic fonts, slow loading times, but behind its awkward shell, it connected Chinese suppliers with the world for the first time. It wasn't sleek, but it worked. In a world focused on polish, Jack focused on purpose. Alibaba didn't need to look good. It needed to work, and it did. When eBay entered China, they had money, power, and global dominance. Jack Ma had none of that. But he knew one thing eBay didn't: China. He launched Taobao, a platform built for local users, with free listings and friendly design. While eBay focused on profits, Jack focused on people. In just a few years, the giant bowed out. David didn't just beat Goliath, he rewrote the rules. September 19, 2014, Alibaba went public on the New York Stock Exchange. It became the largest IPO in history, raising $25 billion. Jack Ma, once rejected by KFC, now stood on the global stage, ringing the bell, smiling through tears. This wasn't just a business win. It was a symbol that the underdog from Hangzhou had redefined global commerce. Even after the IPO, Jack Ma never forgot where he started. He often said, "I'm not a tech guy, I'm a teacher." Money didn't change him, it gave him a louder voice. At conferences, he spoke more about mindset than market share. For Jack, success wasn't about being rich. It was about being useful. And maybe inspiring someone else to try. In 2020, Jack gave a bold speech criticizing China's financial regulators. The fallout was swift. Ant Group's IPO, set to be the biggest ever, was abruptly halted. Then Jack disappeared from public view. For months, silence. The man who once symbolized bold thinking learned a brutal truth. In China, speaking too freely can come at a cost. After over a year of silence, Jack Ma reappeared, but not in a boardroom. He was spotted visiting agricultural schools, talking about farming and education. No suits, no microphones. Just Jack and a blackboard. It wasn't the comeback many expected, but maybe it was the one he chose. In a world that once crowned him king, Jack returned as a student of life again. Jack Ma once said, "Today is hard, tomorrow is harder, but the day after tomorrow is beautiful." He never promised success, only struggle, growth, and purpose. His story isn't just about Alibaba. It's about staying curious, staying foolish, and never giving up. Because for every entrepreneur, teacher, or dreamer out there, Jack's journey is proof. You don't need to be the smartest, just the one who never stops. Jack Ma's legacy isn't just Alibaba. It's the mindset he sparked in a generation: think big, start small, move fast. He proved that an English teacher with no tech background could change global commerce. But more than that, he gave permission to believe. Believe that from anywhere, even a tiny apartment in Hangzhou, world-changing ideas can rise. Jack Ma didn't set out to be rich. He just wanted to do something meaningful, something that mattered. Today, his story is told in classrooms, boardrooms, and coffee shops around the world. Not because he won, but because he began when it made no sense to. from nothing to never forgotten. And for every soul quietly building something today, that's the real power of his journey. Jack Ma stepped back from the spotlight, but the ripple he created still moves. Alibaba grows. Taobao thrives. And somewhere a young dreamer hears his story and begins. The world changes fast, but courage, vision, and persistence remain timeless. Jack Ma's journey reminds us. The story doesn't end when you stop lighting. It continues when others start believing. Jack Ma taught us that failure isn't final, it's a foundation. That vision matters more than perfection. That you don't need funding to start, you need courage. And that no matter who doubts you, you can still build something that changes the world. His life isn't just a business case. It's a lesson in belief. The only real limit is the story you tell yourself. Jack Ma believes success isn't one big win, it's a series of daily habits. He woke early, read constantly, asked questions no one else dared to. He said, before you're 30, follow someone. After 30, do something on your own. This mindset shaped Alibaba and shaped him. Because success for Jack was never a destination. It was a discipline built in silence, proved over time. Jack Ma didn't always believe in himself. In early interviews, his hands shook, his voice cracked. But he showed up anyway. He once said, if you don't give up, you still have a chance. Confidence didn't come first, action did. He stumbled through speeches, doubted every decision. But one day, the fear got quieter. And the mission got louder. Jack Ma didn't hire the best resumes, he hired the most hungry minds. He looked for those who failed, got up, and tried again. Hire smarter people than you, he said, then get out of their way. This wasn't just HR advice, it was strategy. Alibaba wasn't built on talent alone. It was built on trust, humility, and people with something to prove. In school, Jack Ma wasn't the top student, he was the one making everyone laugh. He joked, performed, and stood out, not with grades, but with energy. Years later, that same spirit helped him lead. He made meetings fun, cracked jokes on stage, and turned pressure into play. Because Jack knew. When people smile, they listen. And when they listen, they follow. Jack Ma admired Silicon Valley, but never tried to become it. He said, you can't transplant an American tree into Chinese soil. Instead of copying, he created solutions built for local habits, culture, and chaos. That's why Alibaba didn't just survive, it fit. Because Jack knew. Real innovation isn't imitation. It's listening deeply, then building boldly. Jack Ma once said working 996, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., 6 days a week was a blessing. The internet erupted. Critics called it exploitation. But Jack doubled down. If you don't work hard when you're young, when will you? This moment split public opinion. Was he pushing too far? Or simply exposing what success really demands? Jack Ma always bet on the small guys. He believed small businesses had heart, hustle, and hunger. That's why Alibaba wasn't built for corporations. It was built for shopkeepers, farmers, dreamers. He said, if you help 10 million small businesses, you help 10 million families. To Jack, scale was never just numbers. It was lives. And that belief became Alibaba's soul. After stepping back from Alibaba, Jack Ma focused on something few billionaires do, rural education. He launched the Jack Ma Foundation to train village teachers, fund schools, and spark ambition in forgotten places. He didn't just donate. He visited, listened, stayed. Because Jack believed the next world changer might be a kid. Learning under a leaky roof. Jack Ma's journey is a leap from chalkboard to cloud. From teaching verbs to transforming global commerce. But deep down, he never stopped being a teacher. Alibaba may be his legacy. But education, that's his mission. Because he knows one great lesson can outlast 100 great products. And sometimes a piece of chalk can spark more than code ever could. Jack Ma didn't just build a business, he challenged global norms. He showed that China could innovate, not imitate. Alibaba connected east to west, farmer to factory, dream to delivery. And suddenly the world saw a new kind of founder. Humble, relentless, and proudly Chinese. Jack's dream started in Hangzhou, but its echoes reached everywhere. Jack Ma's smile made him look easygoing, but his path was anything but. People called him lucky, political, even controversial. But what they missed was the grit beneath the grin. He failed more than he won, spoke when silence was safer, and gave up control when power was at its peak. Jack isn't just a tech icon, he's a human one. He's no longer Alibaba's CEO. He's not chasing IPOs or markets. So what now? Jack Ma has hinted at farming, teaching, even calligraphy. But the truth is, he doesn't need a next chapter. Because his impact is already written in millions of businesses, students, and stories. Still, one question lingers. Will Jack Ma return? Or has he already done enough? Jack Ma once dreamed of being a tour guide, then a teacher. Then he built one of the world's biggest companies. But through it all, he kept dreaming, beyond money, beyond titles. He dreamed of a better China, a braver youth, a world more connected. And maybe that's why his story endures. Because Jack Ma didn't just chase dreams. He passed them on. The real power of Jack Ma's story is that it stops being about Jack. It becomes about the kid with no connections. The founder building from a dorm room. The teacher in a forgotten town. Because once a story inspires others to rise, it belongs to them now. Jack Ma lit the spark, but it's your turn to carry it forward. Say Jack Ma and people think of success. But behind the name are stories he'll never hear. A girl who started a business from her phone. A boy who believed after failing school. A farmer who shipped products across oceans. They never met Jack, but his journey met them. One name, 1,000 dreams still unfolding. Jack Ma's journey began with rejection, KFC, college, jobs. But he kept showing up. He turned no into new paths, turned failure into fuel. And now his greatest lesson isn't how to build a billion-dollar company. It's how to believe in yourself when no one else does. So if you're still trying, still dreaming, Jack would say, you're already on your way.